My 25 years of life, that is the greatest player I've seen in NBA history with my own two eyes. So, guys, last night I watched the Pelicans versus the Portland Trailblazers. I watched the New York Knicks versus the Cleveland Cavaliers. But this game, the Dallas Mavericks versus the San Antonio Spurs, was absolute domination. And one thing the Dallas Mavericks do need to fix is their point guard situation. Cooper Flagg played point guard last night, and it was easily shown that Cooper Flagg's not a point guard. They need a guy who can run the offense better, and they need to allow Cooper Flagg to be involved in the offense in terms of receiving the ball, not him initiating the offense, because it was an absolute nightmare for the Dallas Mavericks to initiate any kind of offense because Cooper Flagg, you can obviously see that Cooper Flagg is not comfortable handling the ball and running the show like that. One thing that I can't just get over, and I know I already talked about him already, is Victor Wembanyama. Honestly, my 25 years of life, that is the greatest player I've seen in NBA history with my own two eyes. Just off of one game alone. Bump all the stats, bump like all of the accolades, awards, in terms of just seeing with my own two eyes what I've seen. Victor Wembanyama is it. Like, there's nothing the Dallas Mavericks can do. And the fact that he had 40 points, 15 rebounds, he dominated on the defensive end as well, had 3 blocks, was just the presence. And all the players, just every time they drove into the basket, they would be second guessing what they should do because he would be there. And even when he wasn't like right in front of them, the thought of him being in that area deterred them from making the shot. I think that was one big issue with Cooper Flagg, especially his first NBA game against a guy who has so much gravity on the defensive end. Cooper Flagg, he just didn't shoot the ball well. He was 4 for 13, and he was able to affect the game in different ways. He got 10 rebounds. He had 10 points, 10 rebounds, a double-double. But you can obviously see if you watch the game that he struggled immensely. That's one thing with the Dallas Mavericks. They need to figure out their point guard situation. I would, even though he's a little bit inconsistent, I would start D'Angelo Russell and have him run the show while they wait for Kyrie, because I don't think Cooper Flagg at the point guard position is the right answer. I think he needs to play his natural position of either being the 2 or the 3. He thrives in those kind of situations where you have a point guard bringing the ball to him rather than him trying to initiate the offense and get himself involved. So that's one thing with the Dallas Mavericks. I think they need to immediately change that. But again, the reason why they lost this game was strictly because of Victor Wembanyama. A guy I think in NBA history we'll never see again. And could be wrong, but like in the next, like in my lifetime, I don't think I'll ever see a Victor Wembanyama. The fact that he was able to just dominate without shooting threes, because his biggest critic was shooting too much of the 3 ball. I mean, he averaged around 8.8 attempts a game from 3-point line last season. But in the start of this game, he only took 2 3-point shots. He made 1. Everything else was within the arc, like the 3-point line. And everything I saw was just dominant. Like, dunked on Derek Lively. He dunked on AD. Saw him get an and one dunk where he just reversed the dunk the ball. I mean, there was just a lot of things I saw that it's hard for me to not look at him already as like, yeah, he's going to be the league's best player in the league. He's it. And I don't think anyone right now is like touching him. Yeah, we saw a game from Luka, 14, I'm forgetting the stat line, 43, 12, and 9 assists, I believe, almost a triple-double. We saw last night the Minnesota Timberwolves play the Trailblazers. Anthony Edwards went for 41 points. But those two guys, as dominant as they are, which they're extremely dominant, I don't think there's a guy we've seen like Wemby, because he did this in 30 minutes. Imagine if you gave the man 40 plus minutes. By the end of the third quarter, he had 30 points and 10 rebounds. And not to mention his team, Stephon Castle, he showed he's going on the up trajectory. He had 22 points, 7 rebounds, 6 assists. And another guy, Dylan Harper, who made his NBA debut, even though he had a slow start, missed both of his free throws in the beginning of the game, he ended with 12 points. Or it was either 12 or 14, one of the two. And he showed he belonged in the league. This is all without De'Aaron Fox. And I'm not expecting players like Klay Thompson to shoot as bad as he did last night. I'm not expecting another game like how Cooper Flagg had. I'm not expecting AD to perform the way he did against all teams. But a lot of their issues that the Dallas Mavericks had wasn't really their fault. It's really only because of Wembanyama and the game plan that the Spurs had against the Dallas Mavericks, and also the luxury player that they have, Victor Wembanyama. And I can't stress it enough. I know I said his name like 10 billion times, but I can't stress enough like how different he is. I had a couple different MVP picks. I've thought of Anthony Edwards, Luka. I thought of Jokic again, SGA again. And Victor Wembanyama was behind those guys to me. But after this first game of what I've seen, if this is the consistent Victor Wembanyama, I don't see anyone stopping him. If you're a guy who gets 40 points, 15 rebounds against arguably the best big defender in Anthony Davis, and you have to deal with two relatively tall players, like Anthony Davis is, okay, 6'10", but Derek Lively, there's rumors that he grew to about like 2 inches. He's around like 7'1", 7'2" maybe. He just looked helpless, like absolutely helpless against Victor Wembanyama. The point I was trying to make with saying all that, if he's doing that against guys like them, what do you think he's going to do to the rest of the league? Y'all let me know your thoughts. That game was it was dominant. It was lopsided from the start. The dominated this game the whole way through. But it was still exciting because we got to see Victor Wembanyama realize his potential and show the fruits of his labor from the summer. So, again, y'all let me know your thoughts. And until next time, guys, Milos out. Peace.